This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right. We're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
Friendship Socks, Part 1. Levi, are you getting the playroom ready? Called out Levi's mom from her office. Max will be here in 5 minutes. All ready, Mom, Levi called back as he set up the last piece of his Royal Rally race car racetrack set. Levi could have not been more excited that his friend Max was coming over to play that day. That was because they hadn't been able to play together at school that week because it had been raining, and that meant indoor recess. Since they were in different classes, they only got to see each other at lunch and when they were walking in the halls. Max loved race cars, and Levi had been anxiously waiting to show him the cool new race car track that his grandpa had just bought him. It was the best racetrack set ever, with amazing-looking metal race cars, blinking lights, real race car sound effects, and handheld steering wheels that you used to control the cars as they zipped around the track. It even came with a checkered flag to wave at the end of the race. "He's gonna love this," whispered Levi to himself as he did a little test lap before running out to the living room. As soon as he flopped on the couch to wait for Max, the doorbell rang. "Max!" shouted Levi with a big smile as he leapt over the back of the couch and ran to the door. As soon as Max stepped inside, Levi was ready to do their secret handshake and start a wonderful play date. However, Max seemed to have a different idea of how the day would go. He looked less than excited to see Levi, which was really surprising to him. But it was morning after all, and Levi had just brushed off thinking Max was maybe a little tired and needed to warm up to the play date. Max was not a morning person, which Levi knew from having sleepovers at his house. "Hey buddy, I have something awesome to show you in my playroom," said Levi, trying to shake Max out of his funky mood. But Max just gave Levi an unenthusiastic thumbs up and followed him down the hall. "Bye, Mom," said Max. "Bye, honey. I hope you enjoy your play date," said Max's mom. "Bye, Max's mom. And don't worry, he'll have a great time when he sees what's in here," called back Levi as he and Max disappeared into the playroom. Levi's mom didn't think much more about Max's unenthusiastic reaction when he entered the house. Knowing that Max and Levi were best friends, she was sure he would tell Levi what was on his mind. They'd talk it out, Max would feel better, and they'd be playing in no time. Levi was a very supportive and kind friend, so his mom knew he would find a way to turn Max's day around. However, what she and Levi would learn is that Max needed to want to turn his day around too. Nothing Levi did would get him out of his bad mood. "Max, stay right there. I have a big surprise for you that you're going to love," said Levi as he ran around to the other side of the couch in the playroom, where he had the Royal Rally race car racetrack set up. "What?" asked Max, who looked like he was a million miles away. "I said stay right there. I have a big surprise for you." "I have a new toy that you're going to love," said Levi. He was so excited to show Max his new race car track that he wasn't even paying attention to the way his friend was acting. Max closed his eyes and Levi turned on the racetrack, revving the fake car engines. "Do you know what that is?" asked Levi with a huge smile on his face. Then instead of Max getting really excited like Levi thought he would, Max seemed to get upset. "Are you kidding me?" said Max as he stomped his way over to Levi and saw the Royal Rally race car racetrack. "That's unbelievable." "I know, it's awesome," said Levi. "Do you want to play?" Levi went to hand Max one of the steering wheel controllers as the lights around the racetrack blinked on and off, showing that the race was about to start. Levi was so excited, he didn't notice that Max's reaction to the racetrack was not of happiness and excitement. "This is ridiculous," said Max in a huff as he grabbed the steering wheel controller out of Levi's hand. It was at that point that Levi realized something was wrong. "Max, what's going on? Are you mad? I thought you'd be super excited to race with me," said Levi with a look of surprise on his face. "It's great, I guess," said Max as he stared at the racetrack. "Yeah, it is, but you seem really mad instead of really excited," said Levi. "It's just you always get everything you want," snapped Max as he threw the steering wheel controller on the couch. Levi was very surprised by Max's reaction, but just thought he was having a bad day. Instead of getting mad at his friend, he decided to ask Max what he wanted to do. It was clear to Levi that he thought Max would be more excited about the racing game than he was. No one's fault, just the wrong game for this playdate is what Levi thought. "Hey Max, how about you pick what we do first?" said Levi. "Maybe after we can play with my race cars." "Well, thanks for finally asking what I would like to do," said Max in an angry tone. "It took you long enough." Levi really didn't know what was going on that was making Max act so upset and bossy, but Max was his best friend and he was going to be there to figure it out, work through the problem, and hopefully help him get into a better mood. "Sorry, Max," said Levi. "I should have asked you what you wanted to do first." "I really want something to eat," said Max, flopping down on the couch. "Oh, okay," said Levi. "Well, my mom wasn't planning on having lunch for a little bit, but maybe I can get you a snack." "I want an apple," said Max. Levi quickly left the playroom and walked into the kitchen. "Is everything okay in there?" asked Levi's mom. "It sounded like Max wasn't using the nicest tone with you." "Oh, yeah, he's fine," said Levi. "Just a little hangry." "Isn't that what you and Dad call it when Ivy and I are both upset and moody because we're hungry?" "That's right," giggled Levi's mom. "This should help," said Levi as he grabbed an apple from the counter and ran back to the playroom. But before he got there, the doorbell rang, so he went to answer it. "Grandpa!" Levi cheered as he opened the door and saw him standing there. "I didn't know you were stopping over." "Hi, buddy," said Grandpa, giving Levi a hug. "I realized that I forgot to give you the extra battery pack that goes with your racetrack when I dropped it off last weekend. I wanted to make sure you had this one, so while you're playing, you always have new batteries charging and ready to go. That way you don't have to miss a minute of racing." "Thanks, Grandpa," said Levi, taking the battery pack from his hands. "My friend Max is over now, and we're going to play in just a little bit. Mom's in the kitchen if you want to say hi." Levi ran off to the playroom as his grandpa walked into the kitchen to visit Levi's mom. "Here you go, Max," said Levi as he ran back into the playroom and tossed the apple to his friend. "I don't really want this anymore," said Max as he caught the apple midair and tossed it back to Levi. "Okay," said Levi, sounding a bit confused, but not wanting to ruin the playdate. Levi asked again what Max wanted to do first. "Let's play that race car game, I guess," said Max, still not sounding very excited about it. But Levi couldn't have been happier because he had been waiting all week to share this game with his friend. As he was giving Max a quick rundown on how to drive the race car, Max got upset again. "I get it, Levi. Do you really think you're the only one that's ever played a race car game before?" asked Max in a huff. No, said Levi. It just took me a little while to get the hang of steering the car, so I thought I'd help you out." "I don't need any help," said Max. "Just start the race." Levi counted down and pressed the start button. The blinking lights sparkled all over the track as an announcer's voice blared through the mini speaker that sat at the starting line. The voice announced the start of the race and the cars were off. The announcer then gave a play-by-play as Levi sped ahead of Max, clearly in the lead. Very quickly, Levi could tell that Max didn't like that. Max became very upset again and started stomping his feet and waving his arms around as he tried to understand how to use the steering wheel controller. His car was zigzagging around the track, stopping and starting as it bumped off the plastic walls that lined the sides of the track. "And the winner is the car in lane 2, boomed the announcer's voice as Levi's car crossed the finish line. "You cheated!" yelled Max as he threw the steering wheel controller on the ground. "Hey, Max, watch out!" yelled Levi back at him, no longer able to keep his emotions inside. "This is brand new, and I don't want to break it." "Don't be so dramatic," said Max as he walked over to sit on the couch. "You know what? I think I'd like to go home." Levi was shocked, but at this point, something had changed about Max. He didn't just look upset, he looked sad. Levi wanted to help, but he just didn't know how. "What's wrong, Max? You have to tell me," asked Levi. "What's going on that's making you act so upset with me? Did I do something?" Max just sat on the couch with his arms crossed, not answering his friend. Hearing all the yelling, Levi's mom was already walking in to check on the boys. When she heard that Max wanted to go home, she told him and Levi to come out to the living room and she would call Max's mom. "I'm so sorry about all of this," said Max's mom when she returned to pick up her son. "I'll talk to him about what happened and the way he was acting when we get back home. I'm sorry, Levi. And what do you have to say, Max?" I'm sorry too, I guess, said Max in a voice that Levi could barely hear. It's okay. I'm sure Max and Levi will work it out, said Levi's mom. Levi felt really bad not knowing why his friend was acting this way and wanting nothing more than to find out the reason so he could help him. It's okay, Max. Maybe we can get together tomorrow, suggested Levi. Max looked at Levi but said nothing. Then he turned around and walked outside with his mom. Levi shut the door behind him, walked into the kitchen, and sat down at the table with his grandpa. That was not okay, said Levi. Why did he treat me like that? I didn't do anything. Friends should treat each other with kindness and respect and talk things out if there's something going on that's making them upset. They shouldn't get bossy and mean. Just then, Ivy walked into the kitchen. She had on her detective outfit, and without Levi and Max knowing it, she had been listening to their whole interaction. I think I know what the problem is, said Ivy. Max is upset and isn't treating you very nicely at all. That's not exactly a surprise, said Levi. I'm trying to figure out what to do about it. Why not try to fix Max's bad mood by getting him in front of a kindness meter, suggested Ivy. What? Asked Levi, looking really confused. A kindness meter. A little something my friends and I do when one of us isn't being nice or treating other friends in the group in an unkind way, said Ivy. But the important thing to know is that the kindness meter, is actually not a meter at all. Levi rolled his eyes, not thinking Ivy's advice was going to help at all, but was already too far into the conversation to back out now. A kindness meter is actually the way my friends and I measure how nice someone is being, said Ivy. If we feel like one of our friends in the group isn't being nice, we talk about all the things we've done and rate them on the kindness meter. If they get a low score from the group, it means that we all agree that they aren't asking nicely and we have to sit down and work it out before we do anything else. Then after we talk, we always feel better, and their score on the kindness meter goes back up. Levi thanked Ivy for her suggestion. It wasn't a bad way to solve a problem in a group of friends when one person was being unkind, but Levi didn't need Ivy's kindness meter to show that Max's score would be really low. Levi was already on step 2, talking it out. But he didn't know how to do that because it seemed that Max didn't want to talk at all. Was it worth trying to work it out, or did this mean that Levi and Max's friendship was over? Levi didn't understand why Max would act the way he did and questioned how they would move forward. Your idea is a good one, Ivy. Thank you. But can Grandpa talk to Levi for a bit? Asked Levi's mom. He and Grandma always gave me really good advice when I was your age and needed help solving a problem with a friend. Sure, Mom, said Ivy. I hope it all works out, Levi. Max is a really good friend. Maybe he was just having a bad day. Ivy and her mom walked out of the kitchen, leaving Levi and his grandpa there to talk. Levi's grandpa smiled and turned his attention to Levi, who he knew was feeling confused and upset and had a lot he was thinking about. I just don't understand why Max was acting that way, said Levi. What did I do to him? Sometimes it's not you, said Levi's grandpa. It could be that Max is going through something and it's bigger than race car games and playdates. But I asked him what was wrong and he didn't say a thing, said Levi. I thought we were best friends. He knows he can tell me anything and I'm always here to help him. But after how he acted today, I don't know if we can be friends anymore. He just seems so mad at me for no reason at all. I don't know why Max was so upset today, but I do know that he's still your friend, said Levi's grandpa. Let me tell you a little story that my grandpa told me when I was having trouble with one of my best friends when I was your age. Then Levi's grandpa went on to teach his grandson a lesson he'll never forget. He told Levi that friendships are like socks. Socks, Grandpa? Levi laughed. What are you talking about? Just hear me out, said Levi's grandpa. I know it sounds silly, but it will all make sense at the end of our story. Levi's grandpa went on, telling his grandson that socks are a very important part of any outfit. They warm and comfort your feet, which are working hard running and walking around all day. Socks are dependable and will stay right by your side. Or, I guess, right on your foot to be more specific. Warming your feet throughout long days, playing in the snow, or keeping your feet comfy during a long basketball tournament. Then he went on to say friends are like that too. They support you, stand by your side, and help you out when you need it. Socks work hard, like we all have to do sometimes to keep our friendship together, but socks can also be silly. And those are my favorite kind of socks. Socks you can have fun with, just like all the fun I bet you and Max have together, said Grandpa. Like my favorite pair of silly socks that have those golfing frogs on them. They always make me smile, no matter what. Just like a good friend. Levi nodded along, starting to understand what his grandpa was saying. But sometimes your favorite socks can get holes in them, said Grandpa. They seem like they're pulling away from you, that your relationship is falling apart at the seams. But that's simply not true. Those holes are right there from all the time you spent together. All the good times and the bad times. Right now, you and Max have a little hole in your friendship. Levi listened closely, waiting to hear what his grandpa would say next. What do you think I did when my favorite socks with the golfing frogs in them got a little hole? Asked Levi's grandpa. Well, I certainly didn't throw them out and call it quits. Those socks have been with me for a long time, and we still had lots of fun times ahead of us. So I mended them. And with a little thread to sew up that hole, they're good as new now. Do you understand what I'm saying, Levi? That any friendship, especially your favorite friendship, is worth working on to fix the little hole and move on to better times together. You got it, kiddo, exclaimed Levi's grandpa as he hugged his grandson. Now, I think you have a little sewing to do with Max. Am I right? Levi smiled, hugged his grandpa, and then asked his mom if he could go over and see Max. Levi's mom called over to Max's house to see if that would be a good idea. Max's mom said yes, so Levi walked over. Once he got there, he sat down with Max in his backyard and asked him to please tell him what was making him upset. At first, Max didn't want to talk. Levi knew if his friend didn't want to try and make the situation better by talking it out, that nothing was going to change. Please let me know if it's something I did, Levi said. That way I know to never do it again, because I never want to make you upset. You're my best pair of socks. My best friend. The line about the pair of socks made Max smile, and then he looked over at Levi. You'll have to explain to me someday how I'm a pair of socks, but for now I just want to say, I'm sorry, said Max. You're a really good friend, Levi, the best. And I know that because even after the way I treated you this morning, you still wanted to come over here and try to work things out. Of course I did, Max. I wanted to make sure we were okay, said Levi. I don't want to lose you as my best friend, but I need you to know that I'm not okay with the way you treated me or my new racetrack game this morning. It was really unkind and disrespectful. I care about you, Max, but I care about myself too, and I don't want to be treated badly when I'm being a good friend. Max felt bad for making Levi feel bad. He knew at that moment that it was his turn to say something to make the situation better. That's when he told Levi what had made him so upset. Last night, I found out I didn't make the travel soccer team, said Max, looking down at the ground. I've been feeling really bad about it ever since I heard. I thought going to your house would make me feel better, but when I got there, I still felt bad. You looked so happy it made me mad, jealous, and upset with myself that I couldn't be excited to hang out with you. Levi felt so bad for his friend, but he didn't say a word. He just listened so Max could get it all out. Then when I saw the racetrack game, it felt like you got something really cool that you've always wanted and I didn't get anything, said Max, looking like he was going to cry. I just wanted to make that team more than anything. I'm sorry I took out my negative feelings on you. Wow, Max, I'm really sorry you didn't make the team, said Levi. And that made you so upset. How about if we practice together before the next travel season starts and I can try out for the team with you? That would be awesome, said Max. Thanks for being a great friend, or I guess a great pair of socks. Levi and Max both laughed and decided they would give their playdate another try. Max's mom was so grateful for Levi's friendship and was so impressed with the way Levi handled the situation. She walked them back over to Levi's house and they spent the rest of the afternoon laughing, joking, and playing with Levi's Royal Rally race car racetrack. But when they first got back, before they started racing, Levi stopped his grandpa in the living room and said goodbye before he left. Thanks again for talking with me, Grandpa, said Levi. It was great advice. Max and I are all good again because he finally explained to me why he was feeling so upset when he was over here earlier. I'm really glad to hear that, Levi, said Levi's grandpa with a big smile. Levi smiled back at his grandpa as he walked out the door, knowing the importance of great friends and a great pair of socks. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.